Shalom, family. It's good to see you all. You know what? Who was Ghost Tiger? I think it was. You were talking about the music. Actually, all of the music that I play is royalty free, so that I don't get any copyright strikes. That's why I just go out and find royalty free music that I like that sounds halfway decent. And the pictures are ones that I made myself in AI. So that music you just heard, really anybody can get that music and play it. And because somebody said to me, some other woman got that, and she can because it's royalty free. Actually, if you started a channel and you wanted that same music, as long as it's royalty free, that means anybody in the public can take that music and use that music. So yeah, so every song I do, it's safe. I know it's safe and it's royalty free, and I don't get no strikes on it. That's why I try to be real careful about that. Okay. All right, y'all. We're going to talk about an incident that occurred in California not long ago. And this was a Chinese man, and he ended up getting arrested because he went on to a military base. First of all, he should never have made it all the way on a military base. I don't know what's going on at that location, because if he's not military personnel or he's a civilian that got a job there, he should never have made it onto the base at all. I'm like, okay, well, who's in charge over there? Because and then once he got there, they were trying to get him to leave, and he flat out refused to leave. Now, we know that a lot of these illegals, and he was one of the illegals that showed up at the border. Remember, a bunch of Chinese people came across the border as well, young men. And you can see, I mean, I know his eyes are marked out, but you can see he's a young man. And they said many of these Chinese people are not even, they're pretty well dressed coming across the border, young. So let's get into this story. This is crazy just hearing something like this. I mean, when it comes down to these illegals, you can damn near know you're going to see anything, you can expect anything. So, a Chinese illegal immigrant was arrested after driving onto a military base in California. And yeah, they can get driver's license and be illegal. So, this is being investigated because they want to know how he got on to this military base. All right. So a Chinese illegal immigrant was arrested in California on Wednesday. This was Wednesday of last week after entering a military corps base without authorization and ignoring orders to leave, according to officials. So this was the Border Patrol El Centro sector. So they said that the agent responded to a call from the base about a Chinese national who entered the base without authorization, ignoring orders to leave. A spokesperson for the U.S. Marines Corps, this was the Training and Education Command, told Fox Digital that the individual had attempted to access the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, 29 Palms, California, without valid ID. Well, how did he know where this Air Ground Combat Center was in the first place? Like, how did it sounds like he really got all the way on to the base. Despite being prompted to exit the corridor gate, By the installation security, the individual proceeded onto the installation without authorization. Military law enforcement were immediately notified and detained the individual, a spokesperson said. You know what? For the United States, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. I would think that a military base would be so tight that no civilian, even if it's a civilian that lives here, if they don't have authorization to be there, it should be very difficult for them to get on that military base. All right. So the base then contacted Customs and Border Protection, CBP, and said he was taken into custody. CBP said the Border Patrol agents had responded to a report of a suspected Chinese national who had driven onto the base without authorization. The agents arrived and determined the man was a Chinese national who was illegally presented in the US. So he came in, they did say he came in through the southern border. He came in that way. So he's presently in the US. Even after being arrested, he's still here. He hasn't been deported. The subject was confirmed to be in the country illegally. Bavano said in X, formerly known as Twitter. So his purpose and intent behind his actions are still being investigated. Now, they said of the Chinese nationals that have come across the southern border, they are estimating 22,000 since October of 2023 have entered the US. They said this has been an increase of 2,176 encounters that they had in 2022. And in 2021, they had 450 Chinese nationals that came to the border. So that's a big jump. When you look at the 2022, 2,176 Chinese nationals entered the country through the southern border, and that number's all the way up to 22,000. I mean, they don't know who is coming in this country, y'all. They don't know. China is more than 150 countries represented among migrants entering the southern border. Some officials and Republican lawmakers have raised concerns that single adults entering from the geopolitical foe could pose a national security threat. Yeah, I mean, y'all, do you know this man got all the way on the base, was able to get to a facility? He could have easily got in there with a bomb because nobody really stopped him from entering. I'm just saying. So there have been numerous documented incidents of Chinese nationals at the direction of CCP engaging in espionage, stealing military and economic secrets. A group of Republican senators warned last year. They said that among those crossing the border could be individuals who could engage in espionage activity or cyber attacks against our critical infrastructure, government agencies, or private sector entities. Other migrants, however, told Fox that they are just trying to make a better life for themselves. Yeah, they all say that. Yeah. And so did this group of Venezuelans that came over, and then now they're out here squatting in homes, you know. They said they were just looking for a better life, and they're over here committing all kinds of crime. So he goes on now, the migrant, and says, "My English is not very good. I don't know anyone in the United States," one migrant said. "Once I get in the United States, I know I have to start all over again, but I have to live a good life in the future, and I want my children to be educated. I strive to take root in the United States as soon as possible. Well, how come y'all can't do that back in your homeland? How come you can't strive for a better life in your homeland? I don't understand. Can't you raise your kids and give them a good education in your homeland? I don't get it. CBP said on Friday that it does not comment on sensitive law enforcement matters, but works closely with law enforcement, intelligence, and federal partners to identify those who may pose a threat to national security or public safety. The agency stressed to Fox Digital that it is enforcing consequences for those who enter the US illegally. What are the consequences? Arresting them and letting them go 24 hours later? The way y'all are handling these illegals that commit crimes is a joke. I mean, I understand why they continue to commit crimes because they already know nothing is going to happen. DHS continues to enforce United States immigration laws, expanding lawful pathways while strengthening enforcement consequences for those who crossed our borders unlawfully. Individuals and families without a legal basis to remain in the US are subject to removal. Well, they're not being removed. I mean, and you already got the president of Venezuela saying he ain't taking none of them back here because they're a bunch of criminals that he got rid of. So they are subject to removal pursuant to Title 8 authorities and are subjected to a minimum of 5 years behind bars and reapplying for admission and potential criminal prosecution if they subsequently enter without authorization. The agency said in a statement, CBP is leveraging all available resources and partnerships to efficiently vet and process migrants consistently with the law. These people are coming over here unvetted. Who do y'all think you're fooling with this lame behind article? Y'all don't vet nobody. Shoot, if you did, probably the majority of these migrants, especially the ones from Venezuela, wouldn't even be here. And you don't even know who these Chinese people are coming across the border. You don't even know who they are. And y'all, I was reading, they purposely show up at the border with no ID. And some of them will throw their ID away on their journey here. They'll get rid of their ID because then they are unknown from that point on when they enter the country. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. So I don't know what they're going to do with this man. They got him under arrest. I'm sure he's probably still in California somewhere. But it's just amazing how if you come in the country and they don't know you, you can virtually get away with anything. America will give you money. America will give you housing. They will ignore your crimes. I mean, this place is so unjust. And they got the nerve to come out here on social media, get on videos talking about they're not racist and they don't treat people unfairly. They're fair to everybody. Why don't y'all go somewhere and shut up? Go somewhere and shut up because nobody's listening to that anymore. That I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Well, somebody's ass is doing it because these people are coming over here getting money, getting hotel rooms paid. They are getting papered up. They are getting bags and they're out here pickpocketing and robbing and stealing and squatting and nobody's doing a damn thing. So if you ain't doing it, then who the hell is? Who's doing it then? But I'm not surprised. But maybe this will teach the US military to really get up on their security so folks can't just randomly make it in onto the base and make it to a facility like this dude did. Mm, mm, mm. Wow. Y'all, this is a trip right here. All right, I see 2 people. Romy Black, thank you for becoming a member. And Randy Moore, thank you for becoming a channel member. Thank you. Yes, MC8. Yes, I did. I did hear about the measles breakout at some of these migrant shelters that they got set up. Yeah, I mean, it's not shocking that they're coming across the border with these different diseases and stuff, things that might have been ratified here in the US. But, hey, they're letting them in. If they're unvetted, they're not looking at no past medical history on these people. They can bring virtually any disease into the land. How are they going to know? They don't even have a real name. So, how are you going to get real health records and you don't even have a real name on these people? Yes, there are measles outbreaks at some of the shelters here in the US. Yes. So that, they said those people south of the border don't get vaccinated for those things like people in the US did. So as long as that is the case, then yeah, they're going to walk across the border with all that stuff. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have one time I got lost and there was a military base there and I just went up to get directions and they gave me directions and I was able to find where I needed to go, and some they understand that. But that was the only time, but I never made it all the way on the base. I was able to talk to one of the guards that was at the entrance, and he was able to guide me to where I needed to go. I mean, look, these folks can get driver's license. They don't even have to go through the same kind of cartwheels that Americans got to go through to get driver's license, bank accounts. They just get them. They just get them. Tawana Cook said in Chicago, the measles has spread out of the shelters and into public schools. Yeah, it would if their kids are going. Yeah, I mean, a lot of their children are in those public schools now. Yeah, well, that would make sense. I know the parents probably wouldn't like it, and I don't blame them at all. Yeah, I mean, they get licensed real easy. And even when the bank opened their account, they don't really have to do a lot in identifying themselves. They don't have to give a social. They give a name or whatever address they can, and they open that account. They never get refused. They just open their account for them. But with us, they want a social security. They want to check this. They want to check that. And sometimes you'll get refused to get a bank account, but they don't refuse these illegals. They never do that to them. Mhm. Pensy Lola, Yah bless. Thank you so much for the super chat. Showing love, beloved sister. Blessings. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Shalom, sister. No. Yeah, well, you know what? Oh yeah, they're on welfare, MC8. They're on welfare. And in fact, there was a story that came out of New York that said when they call for their assistance, they got attitudes. They said they got nasty attitudes on the phone too. Like they are entitled to the food stamps. They're entitled to everything. And if anything is a little late or they don't get it in a timely manner in which they feel they should have gotten it, they said them illegals will get on the phone and get real nasty with those people that work in the Department of Human Services. Yeah, they get real nasty. Yeah, well, dark skinned brother, you remember when the Ukrainians crossed them because they came across that same southern border, and they said as soon as they got on American soil, they gave them Social Security immediately. So it's like you left your country and you're coming here and getting a clean credit background, starting all over from scratch. Oh, how you doing, KD? Shalom. Wait. Solomon 321 said, Mom's a social worker in North Carolina. Their benefits in her county has to be processed within 48 hours. A US citizen won't get theirs for 30 to 45 days. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, they should wait 30 to 45 days. I mean, that is ridiculous, y'all. So that's all I have for you today on this particular story. So just be on the lookout for my upcoming videos. And y'all, oh, somebody else. Let me see. I don't want to miss anyone. Okay. Nope. I did call everybody out that donated. Thank you. So all I want to say is y'all be on the lookout for everything that's coming. And I did get my champagne and my wine. I got it ready. I got everything ready. So when the eclipse come, I'm gonna have my big old glass of champagne. That's what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna watch it get dark. I'm gonna go out. I got my glasses. I got my solar glasses, and it's supposed to be clear where I am. So I'm gonna be live streaming, but at that moment, I'm gonna slip out real fast so I can get a glimpse of it with my champagne. I'm gonna be out there. Bring on that judgment, Most High Father. Bring it on. Bring it on, America. Bring it all down. Yes, I am. I'm gonna be out there shouting, yes, judge America. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Man, I'm so pissed off at this place. I'm willing to go down just so I can get them. I'm serious. I know they gonna be destroyed. I'll go down with the ship. Just get them. Just get these heathens that have treated us like trash up in here. Man, just get them. And I got a big old, I just bought one of those real long stem um glasses off of Amazon. They're really pretty. And hey, that's what I'm going to be using. And I got my wine and I'm going to kick back and pray. And I said I was going to do a fast and prayer just before, probably like the 6th into the 7th. I'm going to fast and pray. I really want to amplify my prayer around this eclipse. I really do, y'all. And that's what I'm going to do. Mhm. So if you hear me in your state, you know that's me outside shouting. That's me. So y'all, please enjoy the rest of your day, family. Shalom.